Good morning and welcome back to Rooted Badger Rocks virtual workshop series. We're back again with another tasty recipe. We are going to be working with some cabbage today for a delicious cabbage stir fry. So instead of a regular cabbage, we're actually going to be using some Napa cabbage, primarily because we have a lot left over in our food pantry that we have going on every second and fourth Thursday or no Saturday of every month. So check back in on that for some more details if you want to come and check that out. But yeah, we have some Napa cabbage here today. We have a lot of extras, so we're trying to get this out the door, but we're trying to use it as quick as possible. So instead of using regular cabbage, we're going to be using this today. Works the same, just got to chop it a little bit differently, but still great cabbage to use. Main ingredients in this one, so we're going to have cabbage. I have carrot. I did a lot of chopping beforehand just to save some time in this workshop. But I got about a half a head of cabbage here. I got about 2 big pieces of carrots chopped up right here. You can also shred this with like a shredder or a grater as well if you want to have some real smaller pieces of carrot. Cooks a little quicker then too. We also have some green onion, a small bunch of green onion chopped up. We have about a half a bunch of cilantro. And then for our spices and flavorings, we got some garlic over here. We got some chopped ginger and then some red chili flakes. Something we also would or can put in the recipe that's in the written recipe is some cloves. But we're just going to keep those out today. Just didn't have them in the pantry for the moment. And then for our sauces to go with it, the stir fry sauce, I'm using rice vinegar, a little bit of maple syrup for some sweetness, as well as some soy sauce as a good base. So again, I already did a lot of the chopping right away to kind of get that out of the way. If you're going to be using a Napa cabbage, a lot of times you'll get them. A lot of the leaves on the outside might be a little bit wilty or so. So first thing you just want to do is you want to start stripping off those outer leaves. Getting them to the side. Just so they're getting the ones that have got a lot of holes, starting to yellow, a little bit wilted. Just trying to get those off of there. And then I'll throw these in our little compost bin. So I probably take off maybe one more layer. Yeah, maybe this one more right here. And then I won't go through the whole chopping phase, but pretty much I'll cut it in half the long way. So then we'll get a little half like this. Again, I already stripped off the outside leaves right here. And just for the sake of trying to fit everything into our pan, I chopped off the core right here, just chopped out this part. And then I just chopped them to the side. You can chop them long way too if you want longer strips. But I just went the shorter side, just kind of cut along the way, all the way down. And I got our little bowl of finished cabbage right here. Also, with the cabbage, as it grows, it grows layers upon layer. And sometimes there can be a little dirt trapped in there. So after I cut and chopped up my cabbage, I made sure to wash it really well, drained out all the water as best I could, just so we don't have any dirt or any little bugs or anything that might be lingering in there. But yeah, once you have your cabbage all chopped up, all the rest of your ingredients, first thing we're going to do, oh, I forgot to add too. The recipe that we're going to be adding to the comments, or for the ones that we want to follow along, it does use ground meat. So this one calls for either ground chicken, ground turkey, or ground beef. So initially, if you're going to use those ingredients or have that style of stir fry, you're going to want to take that. You're going to want to cook it on the pan for about 5 minutes or so until it browns up all the way, letting all those juices kind of cook off. And then once you have your meat browned up, you want to pull that to the side, having a little bowl ready to go. And then with whatever drippings or like meat juices that are left in the pan, you can add a little bit more oil. And then that's where we will be starting with this next step. So again, we have our chopped cabbage, all of our chopped carrots. We'll head over here to the pan. Get a little bit of oil, only about a tablespoon, maybe a little bit over, maybe 2. We'll get this going. Pan. All right, we'll just get all these veggies going right away. A little hardier, a little tougher, so I want to get these cooking right away. Yep. If you have a bigger pan too at home, helps a little bit. These pans are about as big as we got here at Badger Rocks. This is what we're working with. Turn this up quite a bit, maybe about medium high. So just trying to get these starting to get them heated up, cooking them down a little bit. Yeah, we still want the cabbage to be nice and, or not nice and crunchy, but we still want to have a little bit of crunch to it. We don't want it to be really soggy, really mushy. So we're just gonna get these a little bit mixed up, trying to get some of that oil on it so it doesn't burn. All right. So I'll let this cook for just a little bit longer. We got the ginger, got garlic, and then some red chili flakes for a little spice. And then we'll make our base dressing to go with it. So we'll start out with some rice vinegar. We'll do about 2 tablespoons of that. Oops, a little splashed out. Do that. We'll do 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Yep. And then in the recipe, see what comes out. Yeah, in the recipe it calls for 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, but 2 of those you'd use for the meat if you're cooking the meat with this. So this one we'll just take 2 tablespoons to go with just the veggies, since that's all we're using today. Just a little extra. And then we have our maple syrup, a little bit of sweetness to it as well. Yep. Some people use honey, but this one's calling for maple syrup. I actually tried this recipe the other night and it was really delicious. I think I like using the maple syrup a little more than the honey, actually. Maple syrup's my preferred sweetener. This one calls for about 1.5 tablespoons, so I'll just kind of eyeball that half one right there. All right, I'll take our spoon, just give that a nice little mix. Making sure they're all incorporated. All right, so here's our we call it stir fry base, a little sauce to go with it. And we got our flavorings, all of our spices to go with it as well. So we'll just keep this to the side. But yeah, like I said, if you're using meat, so before this we would have already cooked the meat, rendered it all down, gotten a lot of the juices out. You can keep some of the fat in there. I like to kind of drain some of the fat out just to kind of lessen some of the caloric intake on it, if you will. But your choice on that one. But yeah, as soon as you cook the meat, it gets all brown, just kind of move it to the side, set it on a bowl, maybe add some paper towel to it, soak up some more of that fat coming out of it. Then yeah, you would start with whatever's left in the pan, add just a little bit extra oil, and then you'd add in all your cabbage and your carrots, and that's where we're at right now. So just starting to get it a little bit softened up. I can feel the cabbage starting to get a little bit more wilted. Yeah, I got some pretty thick pieces of cabbage in there, so just trying to keep it cooking for a little bit longer. Regular cabbage might cook a little faster than some of these bigger pieces like right here. But so we'll actually cover this for a little bit just to help get the steam to cook it a little bit more as well. But yeah, I think this is a really good recipe. We're making this in our classes this week. Trialed it out the other night, and it was really good, honestly. Been using cabbage quite a bit, doing a lot of stir fries in our house recently. But this one was really good. I think, honestly, adding the maple syrup in this one was a really good addition that I haven't tried in a while. Like I said, I usually use honey when it comes to most of the like Asian style cooking, but I think maple syrup will kind of become more of a staple in my cooking for these types of recipes now. So I think just for time's sake, I'm going to get this going just a little sooner. So yeah, I can feel the cabbage is softening up. Some of the carrots are pretty small. Again, this will come in again where if you were to grate the carrots, they'd be a lot skinnier. They cook a lot quicker. So, but I just had we had a bunch of leftover carrots in our fridge that were just chopped up, real big discs like this. And again, just wanting to use what we have in our fridge. So I brought those out and just chopped them into smaller pieces. So there's some bigger chunks in there that might still be a little crunchy, but we'll keep it rolling right now. All right, so we're gonna add in our soy sauce, rice vinegar, and maple syrup mixture. Add that in. Now we'll add in all of our spices as well. So all that ginger, garlic, red pepper flakes in there. Give that a good mix. We'll cover it one more time as well. Let it cook just a little bit longer. I'll grab our cilantro, and we got our green onions right here as well. This next step would also be where you would take all of your ground beef or ground chicken, whichever one you're using. You'd have it to the side. You want to bring it over because the next step we're going to be adding the last 3 ingredients right here. Again, we don't want to add the cilantro or the green onions in right away, like with the cabbage or the carrots, because then they're going to cook a little bit too much. They're going to just pretty much disintegrate. So we want them to add a little bit near the end, so they preserve their flavor a little bit better. So I think this is looking good. Again, we'll call it a little bit sooner than later. Yeah, also, the rice wine vinegar in here kind of surprised me too, or not rice wine, but rice vinegar. Just of how sweet it is, honestly. I forget of how sweet of a vinegar it is, and I thought that added to the sweetness part of this recipe too. So I really like that as well. All right. So yeah, I can start to feel the cabbage is getting a little bit wilted. As you can see, some of the bigger pieces are still a little crunchy, which is what we want. Don't want to lose all of that texture. All right, this is about done. Again, last thing we'll add our green onions. Now we'll add our cilantro as well. All right, let's give that one more good mix. A lot of really good colors in here. I'm always a fan of many colors in my food. All right. So here we go. This is pretty much about the finished product. You'd want to serve this either with some brown rice. You could do some white rice too, but this week we're going to try to be using brown rice with our recipes in the class here at Badger Rock Middle School. So yeah, looking forward to trying this with the kids this week, seeing what they think of it. Got a lot of good veggies in here. We'll see how well they really like that. They're always asking for meat, and there is meat in this recipe, so I think they're going to be pretty pumped on it. All right, I'll just turn this off. So again, the only thing missing in here would just be the meat, the ground beef, the ground chicken, whatever it may be. And then, yeah, the only spice we didn't use in this one was the cloves. I don't think we're going to miss it too much. But for the most part, this is what your final product will look like. Again, serve this over some brown rice. This week, we might be doing some potato pancakes as well. Not potato pancakes, scallion pancakes as well. So yeah, we'll see how the classes like it. I'm really hoping they're going to enjoy this one. I know I've been enjoying it a lot. But yeah, we'll try some out after here. We'll have some for lunch today, in case me and Sarah forgot to pack our lunches. But yeah, that's about all I got. Let us know if you try this one out, if you have anything else you want to add or any kind of cool little changes you would make to this recipe. Otherwise, happy cooking and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.